Hello everyone, it's Christine back and we are moving on to a new stitch. So we're moving on to chain stitch, and there's going to be quite a few variations that we are going to be doing. So you'll need a reasonably sized piece of fabric. So we'll do regular chain stitch, we'll do chain stitch twisted, we'll do alternating chain stitch, we'll do whipped chain stitch, interlaced, open, rosette and rows, and then that's it for the chain. So there's quite a few to come up, and in fact I don't need to go back to the regular chain stitch page because I do know how to do that one. I'm thinking I'll do regular chain stitch actually to make my label for this piece. For most of them I've just been doing the back stitch, but I think chain stitch will work quite well here. So I'm going to pop up, and I'm using the fabric I got recently from my partner's mum, Betty, that has been down in her cellar for a very long time, but just the most beautiful ticking. So I've got a wealth of it, and it's the perfect sort of lined fabric to use. So I'm going to hold a little loop out, and so I've popped out through a hole at the start of the C, and then I'm going to pop back into that hole and then bring my needle out just a bit further up the C and bring my needle over the top of where the thread is, so we make that nice little loop with the thread. Then I'm going to hold my thread to the side, I'm going to go back in that same hole and then pop out just a bit in front again. Hopefully you can see that. And we're just going to keep doing that manoeuvre as we manoeuvre around and follow where I've written with my friction marker on the fabric. See how chain stitch goes going around curves. So again, we're always just forming that little loop. So I hope you're all well and having a good day or a good evening. I'm filming this at the end of the week on Friday night, but you'll be watching this on Saturday night or possibly some time in the future. YouTube is kind of timeless, isn't it? Who knows when someone might be watching a video that you make today? Who knows where it will end up? And people from all over the world, that's the amazing thing. People that you might never, well, most likely would never meet. The world can be a small place though. I do remember travelling years ago, and we were in France, and where were we? We were in the Dordogne region. I can't remember which town we were in, and I was travelling with a little group of friends and walking down this particular town street, and behind me I heard a voice, and I thought to myself, that's gotta be Jane. Now Jane, I knew was going to be in Europe at that time because we worked together and we'd both sort of talked about our upcoming travels, but she was meant to be somewhere in Spain. But she and her mum had ended up travelling to this little town and happened to be walking down the very same street that I was walking down, and I heard her voice and just immediately picked that it was her. I guess being an Australian, when we're travelling in Europe, we hear other Australian voices. Normally I actually kind of grimace a bit when I hear them, because against the European accents, the Australian accent sounds quite harsh. Even my own accent sounds harsh, although people say that I have a more European version of an Australian accent, which I'm not quite sure where that's come from. But yeah, it was just so bizarre to be half a world away from home for both of us, and to, oops, sorry, I just need to get my thread back where it's meant to be, and to discover someone who wasn't meant to be there. It wasn't like we'd both sort of said, oh yeah, we're going to the same town at the same time, let's meet up. No, we just randomly came upon each other. And I have heard other stories of that. One of my childhood friends was travelling, yes, I think maybe in Greece or something, and ended up, I think he wasn't planning to be in Greece at that time, but yeah, ended up meeting his partner's parents who were over there at the time at some ruins or some site. So yeah, it can be a small place. And YouTube definitely makes it a smaller place because it links us all up. So pleased to say that Travis, I know some of the ladies in our little chat, which goes on while the premiere of these videos is playing each evening. Well, evening for me, morning or afternoon for others. And one of the ladies had seen a photo, posted on my Facebook, which my partner had posted of poor Travis the dog looking very sad and sorry with a bucket on his head. Because Travis did something very silly and we think had an altercation with a spider. We've told him on many occasions not to eat his friends. Just going to neaten that one out. So there you go. That is, sorry, I'll return to the story in a moment. Just have to show you the sea. We've told Travis not to eat his outdoor friends, including spiders and millipedes and other friends he meets in the garden. But he obviously had on this occasion. He likes to go rustling in the bushes, and he'd ended up with a very swollen up mouth. Poor little fellow. So Travis, for those that might not know, is a black Labrador puppy. I still say he's 3 and a half now actually. But still very puppyish, still very young at heart. I think Kimberly said she's got an older Labrador, and they just stay puppies perpetually, which is lovely. But yeah, he got this very swollen up mouth. At the time, we just gave him an antihistamine, and it sort of went down in. The puffiness went down, but it started to then go a bit crusty, and then concurrent with that, his eye started oozing on the other side, mind, not related to the mouth, we don't think. His eye started getting a bit of a greeny ooze, and I just thought, no, gonna take him off to the vet. Anyway, turns out he's got, his eyes are perfectly healthy, but he did have some sort of dog infection, like a conjunctivitis or something, but no ulcers, no damage to the eyes. And then his mouth had an infection at the site where the bite or whatever had occurred. So now he has eye cream and mouth cream, antibiotics. I joked to him, he got the full deluxe show bag at the vets. Not a free show bag, mind you, but anything for our pets, because I can't stand to see animals in distress. I'd happily go without things myself if it meant that I had to look after the well-being of an animal, a fur family. It's our responsibility to make sure they're happy and healthy. I've heard people often say that we don't deserve our animals, so we have to do our best to try and earn the privilege to be fur parents. It is a privilege, for sure. So I'm now just going to so I just anchored that one down. Sorry, I was too busy talking to actually tell you. So I anchored that one down just with a stitch over the end, just like I did on the end of the C. And then I've just come down to the bottom, and I will just continue the process. And I'm using my my Suspargo Razzle thread, or Razzle Dazzle. I think maybe there's another range called Dazzle, so I think it might just be Razzle. So I was having a look because I was thinking, at some point I might start to get through my collection and I can justify doing another order of goodies, but not yet. I will wait till I use them. I think I've got most of the ones in this range, although I think they make a plain colour one as well that's not variegated. I know, Martha, you'll be like, no, what's the point if it's not variegated? But I thought there might be some applications where I don't need the variegation. That might be a future birthday or Christmas present to myself, or an assisting with the Christmas present from Alex and Travis. Just enter it into the website for them. So yeah, I think it's working quite well as the outline for this, or the marking out of this letters. Good to have a change from just doing the regular back stitch. And I was about to sit down and just do the back stitch off camera, and then I thought, oh, maybe I can actually do it as one of my videos as well. Because I realised I'd got all my videos done last weekend for this week, and then I was like, oh, it's Friday night, and I think we're doing the last of our cast on rows, which is just, yeah, such a great little project. And so I thought, oh, I better get the next video up and ready, because I usually just, once the premiere's finished of an evening and that the video has shown, I'll then post the next premiere so it can be ready and waiting for the next evening. Because particularly during my working days, I really don't get any time to think about stitchery or YouTubey things. So yeah, if you ever do leave a comment, I usually get to them sort of an evening before I come up and stitch. I'll check all the comments, make sure I reply to everyone, have a really good read of comments. Such good ideas that folks have. With that amazing stash I shared from Betty, there was this really beautiful, just going to anchor that A down at the top, I think, before I turn the corner, because it's quite a sharp corner to turn. And just going back to what I was saying, with those beautiful goodies I got from Betty's basement, in addition to that amazing blanket with the incredible story, there was this wide ribbon. Now someone's suggested, and I think they could be right, that it's like a lining for inside jackets or other sort of clothing, I think along like the seams and things. Ooh, that one I just did a bit open. I'm just going to go back and fix that up. Just take it back. I've gone a bit too far over, I think. Don't want to unwind my thread though. This thread can be a bit finicky. So yeah, this ribbon that's brown and very wide, possibly for the internals of the jackets. But the lovely Sue suggested that it could also be used now by me for a scroll for stitchery. So I'm going to have a look if that might be a doable thing, because what a great idea. And then it would be keeping that lovely little piece that's on the end of the scroll that says made in France and looks all very old font and old style. Might have to though somehow protect that, because it's just a cardboard sort of papery piece on the end. And I suppose once I put lots of stitching on it, would get quite thick as well. So, but I did like the idea. I hope my camera didn't just go in and out of focus. I seemed to just do something then, but maybe it was just my eyes looking past the camera. Hope I'm not stitching too far out of range as well. I'll bring it up a little bit more so you can see. But probably most of you have done a chain stitch before. It'll be great to do some of the other variations, because some of them I definitely haven't done. There. Oops. It's got a foothy bit there. Let's see if we can just fix that up. Okay. And we'll start at the bottom of the A. So you're always just making a loop and holding the thread down in front of where you're going to be bringing the needle up, and then just always making sure the thread's underneath, so you're essentially creating a little loop as you bring the needle through. And doing the same again. And the same again. Oops, always bringing it through though. Bringing it through to create a little loop. I think it's probably okay, just the 3 of them. I doubt we're going to make it around though. I think I'll have to get a tiny little bit of extra thread, but that's okay. Two more of my stitchery square recipients have received their squares, so that's exciting. One of them's going to be keeping them though to open with all their other squares that they're receiving, so going to be kept in suspense on that one. I won't share my video that I recorded with the making of that square until the person has had the chance to open and enjoy their square. It's a bit twisty towards the end when you're dealing with a shorter length. And come on, thread underneath the needle. Do you think I'm going to be able to make it to the end? Maybe I'll just do a stitch down there, hold that one down, and let's see if we can do this. Come on, Christine, surely you can do this. Seems such a shame to get another piece of thread for this. Maybe I'll just do slightly larger. I'm not going off camera in the process of just trying to sneak the last little bit of stitches out of this. I think I can do it. Okay, just have to not unthread the needle, just have to get the needle through the fabric, loop the thread underneath so we get our little loopy bit. Try not to skewer the thread, try not to twist the thread where it's not meant to be twisted. And then anchor it down, and we are going to call that a success. So there we go, that is our chain stitch. Just get the little dusty bits off. Chain stitch, writing out chain. So we will just tie that down, and it looks quite nice at the back actually. Just looks like a sort of a slightly interspersed running stitch. I do like looking at the different backs of the different stitches that we're creating. There we go. So we'll be back tomorrow to do chain stitch twisted. So stand by for that, and yeah, as I say, if you're doing it, you'll want to create some extra space around if you all want all your chain stitches to be on the one piece. Thanks for watching, folks, and take care and speak to you soon. Bye.